Time for your weekly survival fix here in episode 6. What's up, guys? This is Green Hand and we are back with another episode. That's right, this is episode 6 and everything's moving along greatly, man. We got fire covered, we have shelter covered, we have water covered, and we now have security covered. That's 4 of the 5 survival basics. The 5th one, food. We covered it a little bit with the fishing knots and the fishing episode, but I wanted to revisit the whole topic a little bit more because there are a lot of ways that you can try and gather food inactively, as in you set up a trap and you leave it and you go fish, or you go forage, or you go cut firewood, or you go do whatever you need to do when you come back and you possibly have some food. So today that's what we are going to do. We are going to be setting up a basic snare trap, extremely basic snare trap. So I've always, have tried this. I've had it work successfully for me a couple times. So I'm just going to show you what I do, and we'll have another episode later discovering more types of snare traps. There's deadfall traps, there's spring traps, there's pit traps. There's a whole bunch of different traps. So we'll have a few different trap episodes. We'll have a few different trap episodes where we'll visit a few different types of traps in order to catch animals, because that's what's going to give you your best source of protein in a survival situation. So I'm ready to get started. I hope you're ready to get started. Let's get to it. So in today's video, as always, we have survival tool number 1. I'm using my glass blunt today because we're gonna be walking around a little bit, and I want to smoke, but not everybody's down with that type of life. So keep it discreet, keep it to ourselves. Don't bother nobody else, won't nobody bother us type of mentality. After that, we have some 550 cord. Now, for bigger animals, you would use the whole 550 cord the way it is. But for what we will be targeting in this video, which is squirrels, rabbits, raccoons, stuff like that, small game, what we're actually going to do is we're going to cut it up and we're going to use the center cords of this to make our snares today. And then our last tool, we got Shiva. We're going to need to cut some shit. Shiva's always sharp and ready to go. So that's our equipment today. Simple, easy. But that is what snare trapping is. It's simple and it's easy. And you set it up, you leave it, you walk away, and you come back later that day, next morning, hopefully you got something. So let's go out and find us a spot to set us a snare. Alright, so for our experiment today, we're just setting up a small snare. I think I found a pretty good spot right under this small tree right here. As you can see, that limb just going right there. And there's always kind of a trail going right there, and that's what you want to look for. You don't want to set up a snare in a place that you don't think animals would come. And this is the other side of where we're setting up our snare. As you can see, we got the base tree, this little trail right in there. And we're going to set up our snare right there. Alright, so first things first, we have our snare cordage here. Now this was the 550 cord. The green was over this, and it was frayed just like this, and all we did was grab the end and just pull it out. Really simple, really easy to do. So yeah, moving on. Get that together. Just going to use one string, one animal. And then we've got this stick here, right? Because this is our anchor tree here. We're going to put this stick right over here. Get that into the ground. Now, all that's going to do is we're going to use this twig right here, probably one of these guys, to just hang our snare from right in here. Anchor tree, put it here, snare hanging, alright? So what we want to do for this snare knot is you want to have a big loop, okay? and then you want to take your free end, take it around this all the way here, and then you go back under. Now, instead of tying a knot to this string here, you're going to tie a knot on itself around this string, okay? Just like that. I like the double. We went over that knot in the fishing video. Alright, so there's our snare knot. Now what that is going to allow that to do is just tighten up onto the animal, and then the animal's not going to be able to loosen. See, like, I'm shaking it, I'm pulling it. If it was wrapped around something like that, and I'm pulling, it's just going to get tighter and tighter. Tighter and tighter and tighter. Okay, so that's how the snare works. And then you just, you know, you come back, and hopefully the animal didn't chew through your cordage. So, like I said, we're going to have this snare knot. Now we're going for, like I said, squirrel or rabbit. So you want your loop first to stay open, and then, okay, like that there, and then I'm going to use this to keep it open, and then I'm just going to hang that part right there, okay? So, see if I can't get this worked out. Okay. So, we're going to kind of use what we got around us to make this work. Okay. Make our loop a little bit bigger. Right in there. We're going to go right in there like that. Okay. And we just rotate this a little bit so our knot is at the top. And then we're going to take this string here and we're going to anchor it to the tree. Now this one, you do want to tie it to the tree. You don't want this to go anywhere. You can make the same knot if you want, or you can just tie it on. You really just don't want this to go anywhere. Alright. So now that that's on there, we got our snare set up. Okay guys, this is the back side, the shady side of our snare. We have the basic snare right here. This is the loop, okay, that the animal is going to be walking through. You know, the rabbit's going to come, the squirrel's going to come. Its head's going to go through the loop, but its legs are going to get caught here, and then it's going to take this with it, and that snare knot is going to tighten, okay? That snare knot right there is going to tighten. And when it tightens, it's going to be anchored to the tree, so the animal is going to be pulling this way, that way, over here, wherever it needs to pull to try and get loose, but it's not going anywhere because it's anchored to that tree, and that knot is just going to keep getting tighter and tighter the more that the animal pulls and pulls. So, this is the basic snare setup, basic ass setup, but it is effective, it does work. What you would like to do is you would like to have bait, nuts, berries, or something like that, that you'll put right down in here, so the animal has to come and eat it. You put it on this side and this side, however you want to do it, to try and make sure you catch your animal, but that is the basic setup. Alright, so we're back from our snare setup. I just want to show you real quick the knot that I used one more time, just in case, you know, you didn't see it on the other video, and the GoPro footage wasn't excellent. So I just want to show you that again. So we have our string, our rope, or whatever we're using, right? Okay, so you start with it straight, then you just kind of let that end fall, right? Okay, now you take this end, the short end, and you go around, all the way around, and you make a fold around your main string, okay? Like that there. And what you're doing is you're tying a knot to this part of the rope, not the drawstring. You're tying it to itself around the rope. So just make a little knot like that, and you're set up to go for your snare. Okay, and as you can see, it's pretty difficult to get it. There you go. Okay, so there it is. Alright guys, so that brings us to the end of this episode. I think it was a good episode. I think we had a good setup per laws and stuff like that for city ordinances and stuff. We can't leave our snare set up. We had to take it down. I called and make sure, and you can't leave a snare set up in the city because you can catch someone's dog or cat if they got out, and that would be bad if we walked up and we accidentally caught someone's pet on our snare. So we took that down, but that is the basic setup, and like I said, it's worked for me before. Hopefully it works for you whenever you try it. And in future episodes, I'm going to do my research to come back so we can learn the spring traps, we can learn the deadfall traps, and we can have an episode, just focusing on getting those set up and seeing how to really put that together, because they use that on tons of survival shows. You can see it all the time. So why not figure that out, right? It's something that's used often, and it's supposed to be common knowledge, so let's learn it, right? So, exciting things to come. I appreciate you coming and watching this episode. Hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can get, notifications every time we come out with a new episode. And, I appreciate the support of everybody that has subscribed and liked so far. Let's keep it going, man. This is Green Hand, signing off.